New research coming out supporting the validity of using isometrics for building muscle. This came across my desk a couple times during the RDP podcast and live feed that I hold on Saturdays, but recently Stronger by Science put their review of the study in their newsletter. I can't seem to find a way to link to that or anything. Plus, the study itself is behind a bit of a paywall, but I'll put the link down below in the description nonetheless. But here are the cliff notes. Basically, they took dynamic lifters and isometric lifters, and they put them through muscle building protocols. They basically challenged muscular work capacity, and at the end of the study, the results were pretty much a wash between either dynamic or isometric training. But there's a couple of key takeaways from this that you need to understand. First and foremost is that the isometrics lifters were using a longer duration of hold than is common with isometric training. Usually that's somewhere around 6 seconds, 10 seconds, focusing on strength, which is great. And yes, you can still build muscle with that. But when we're really trying to create that fundamental stimulus for hypertrophy in our muscles, we want longer holds. And I think this was something like 30, 40 seconds, which is quite a long time for isometrics. So if you are looking to build muscle with isometrics, err on kind of the longer holds to more thoroughly push your muscular work capacity. The other thing to note is that they trained the muscles at an elongated point. Now, there's lots of research over the years that have shown that bigger ranges of motion or using the muscle through a bigger stretch seems to promote more hypertrophy and create a stronger stimulus. And that seems to be supported here yet again with the isometrics, because usually we're doing isometrics with the muscle in a midpoint or even a shortened point. But this was interesting because it was about using and contracting the muscle in a more elongated point, which is not common with isometrics training. So if you're struggling to build muscle with isometrics, give that a shot where you're really contracting the muscle more with it stretched out. And then the final point again, yes, of course, is that this is another piece of evidence that shows that it's not so much about the method that you're using, as I've long been saying here in RDP. It's not about isometrics versus dynamics or high volume, low volume, and what kind of methodology you're following, but whether or not you're achieving the fundamental objective, and then use whatever method is going to be the easiest way for you to do that to a high degree on a consistent basis. And isometrics can certainly be very effective for helping you do that because it's not nearly as hard on the joints. Some people find they can get better muscle tension and so on. So in some cases, isometrics can be even more beneficial for building muscle, especially when supplemented with dynamic stuff. So that's why it's not so much about this versus that, but what is going to be the most efficient and effective way for you to challenge your muscular work capacity. And that's the best way you're going to build muscle. Once again, links and helpful resources down below on isometrics in the description. Best of luck in your workouts this week. Be fit and live free.